Hello, Stitchy friends. How's everybody doing? Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. This is Flosstube number 86. My name is Andrew. This is my dog Winston, and you are here at the Runner Stitcher. You are very welcome to this channel where I talk mostly about my cross-stitch journey, a little bit about running, some about walking as well, and just kind of covering all the things. But if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy what you see. Thanks for joining along on this journey with me. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I know there are so many Flosstube channels to watch and so many people out there that you want to be spending your time with. So I really appreciate you taking the time to join me and Winston today. That means a lot to me. I wanted to start off just by saying a quick thank you to all of you for the comments on my last video. That was not an easy thing for me to share about what I was going through, and yet I felt like I really wanted to be authentic and honest with what I was going through and what I was feeling, and the response was just incredible. First of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me such a safe space to talk about mental health and sort of the negative thoughts that kind of can take over so quickly. I really appreciate just that safe space of allowing me to speak honestly and not feel like I'm going to be judged or looked down on. And secondly, I just want to say thank you for all of the kind comments and words of encouragement. You have no idea how much that helped me last week to get through things. I think it really helped for me to just talk about things and get it out there in the open. And then also reading all of your comments, it was overwhelming and just sort of reminded me of the path that I want to be on, and that is the path of positivity and staying open to possibilities and trying my best not to let negativity sort of weigh me down. And your reminders of that have just been really helpful. I do feel like I'm in a better headspace this week, which is really great. Just been trying to take things one day at a time, and learning to trust and have faith that there are things that are going to work out that I just can't see yet. And also just learning to give up my need to control things. I think that's something I've dealt with for a long time, where I felt like I had to be in control of everything, so everything sort of fit perfectly and fit in alignment with what I wanted. And I'm learning now that I need to let that go. There are things that are out of my control, and I have to learn to roll with those punches. But I think being able to stay present in the moment and still find those moments of joy is so important, and it's a lesson that I need to learn and continue to learn myself. But I just wanted to say thank you because this space that I was able to talk about things and share with you and get your support and encouragement back, it meant the world to me. And I know some of you mentioned you were grateful because you were going through a hard time as well. And honestly, when I shared, I didn't even share it in a way of thinking that it might help someone else. But I'm so glad that it did, because I want you to know that you're not alone in what you're going through. This hard time that you're going through, these negative thoughts that seem to be controlling your mind, you're not the only one going through that. And there is comfort in knowing that we are in this together and we can get through this together. So I just want to encourage you to hang on, keep going, one day at a time, one step at a time, one stitch at a time. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But thank you again for all of the comments, and it really meant a lot to me. I'm going to do my best to keep moving forward and to keep staying positive, and of course keep sharing all of this stitching with you, and just all of the journey of this life that I'm on, and sharing that all with you. I also wanted to start off just with a couple housekeeping things. We still have a giveaway winner that was not claimed from when I was celebrating 7,000 subscribers a few videos ago. And so I went ahead and drew a new name this week. And so the new winner of the $25 gift card to 123 Stitch, I'll put a picture of the comment up here, is Purple Unicorn 9714. So Purple Unicorn, congratulations, what a fun name. And you are the winner. So please send me an email at therunnerstitcher@gmail.com, and we'll get that all worked out to get your gift card to 123 Stitch over to you. And they put the word 7 in the comment, and that's all they needed. I also want to say a huge thank you to a couple of people who took advantage of the Buy Me a Coffee link this week. Thank you so much. So many kind gestures. I just can't say thank you enough. I really do appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. So Cindy, Sherry, Allison, and Kelly, thank you very much. Your gifts are very much appreciated. and I will be enjoying those coffees. I also wanted to do just a quick mention. I know I don't talk about this too often, the Patreon membership that I have, but we are coming up on a new quarter. April is another new quarter of this year. I can't believe we're already a fourth of the way through 2026. That is just wild to me. But part of the quarterly section of the Patreon membership is I will be doing a new giveaway and a new winner for a pair of stitched dice from me. So I will stitch them in the color of the winner's choice and have this ready to go. So if you want to join before that drawing happens, make sure to check it out sooner than later. I will be drawing the winner in the next probably like day or two for the next quarter. And yeah, we're having so much fun over there on Patreon. I can't wait to share. There's been a number of finishes in the channel that people have been sharing, and they are beautiful. So I can't wait to share them here on the channel. I just haven't had a moment to kind of pull them all together. But yeah, we've just been having a great time enjoying each other's stitching, and especially the daily gratitude journal. That's really been helpful for me, where we each just share something we're grateful for that day. And that's been really fun. So if you want to check out what we're doing over there at Patreon, definitely come take a look, and the link is below. But there's two different tiers you can choose to support. One is basically just a financial monetary support for the channel, and the other one kind of gets you access to a little bit more of the stitching calls that we do together, and a few other things as well. But just wanted to throw that out there, as we are getting ready to celebrate a new quarter, and that means a new winner for another pair of stitched dice. And finally, before we jump into the stitching, I wanted to share a little bit of Stitchy kindness that I received this week in the mail. This came from Barbara over at Stitching NT with B. If you have not checked out Barbara's channel, please go check it out. It has been a little while since she's posted again. We're hoping that she'll be posting another video update soon, but she's just been such a great friend to me. I got to meet her at the Jingle Ball this past year and had some time that we could stitch together, and that was just absolutely lovely. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. And she sent me this beautiful card and needle minder as some Stitchy kindness. And here is the needle minder. I'm going to show it to you now. And you know I've been stitching on Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and if you know that piece, you know that that big Christmas tree is right there on the piece. She said she saw this and it reminded her of me and that Mr. and Mrs. Claus piece that is quickly becoming a favorite of hers. So Barbara, thank you so much. This is definitely going to go in that piece, and I'll remember it and you each time I stitch on it. And along with the needle minder, she also sent this beautiful handmade card. And when I say beautiful, I mean beautiful. There was a lovely note in here that she wrote, and she had it on a sticky note attached to the card so that I could take that off, put a new sticky note on, and keep passing the card along so it can continue on. So at some point I will be sharing this with someone else as well. But here is what this card looks like. Look at all the details on this, from this little bee right here, all of these different cutouts that go on here. It's just beautiful. And then the inside design is just wonderful as well. It's so, so cute. I am just amazed at people who can make cards like this and just put it all together. Even this little bee stamp here, super cute. And here's her little logo on the back. But just really wonderful, and I loved the idea that I can reuse this, and she recommended that I gift this on to someone else to continue sharing the kindness and sharing the love. So Barbara, thank you so much for those. I really appreciate it. And again, if you have not checked out Barbara's channel, definitely go check her out. She has a wonderful, wonderful presence, and if you enjoy tea, she has the tips on the tea. So thank you. All right, and I think those are all the sort of housekeeping things at the beginning of the video that I have for you. So now let's just jump into the stitching. I've got, I think, 5 projects to share with you. You probably know what they are by now since I'm still here in Florida. But yeah, really excited to share the progress on these projects. And the first one I want to start with is the finish. I'm sure you know which finish I'm talking about, but if not, I've been working on Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I don't need to show the cover photo anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you the finished piece. Here it is. This is the finished Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. I'm so, so happy that this piece is completed, and happy and so happy that I actually did a full video dedicated to this piece just yesterday. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's there, but it takes you on a journey of sort of finishing this piece with me and talking about it and kind of showing it in really great detail. So definitely check that out if you're interested in sort of a deeper dive into this modern folk embroidery piece and also stitching the last couple hundred or the last 100 stitches with me. This is, for the last time, this is stitched on a 32 count smoky white vintage smoky white from Zweigart linen, and I'm stitching 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads using the DMC colors 320 and 890. And this is the finished piece. I'll zoom in here and show you a little bit of where I was working at the last time. And what I had left as of the last time was this berry bowl. I think I had finished all the berries, maybe even had one of these like sides completed, but that was the section I was working on. So that's what the video that I shared yesterday incorporates, is the stitching of this bowl right here. And yeah, I had gotten really close the last time, so that's kind of all that was left. But I'll do a quick close-up here just so you can kind of see everything, but it's also in that other video if you want to check that out as well. Might be a little bit more helpful to see all the details of this beautiful piece. It's really hard to show all at once, but this is one I've been working on for the last 2.5 years. And if you have been with this channel since the beginning, you have seen this from the early thoughts stage and the should I use these colors stage to the new start and all the way to this finish now. So you've been with me on this journey, and I talked about this a little bit in the other video, but this piece has seen me through a lot of difficult times, and it became a piece that I would pick up when I really wanted to stitch, but I didn't have the brain capacity to be stitching on anything too complicated. It provided such comfort stitching to me. I know we talk about that a lot in Flosstube, but there is certain projects where you're able to just sort of relax into the piece and really enjoy the stitching, and that became this piece for me. I think the most amazing part of this finish for me is knowing that I worked on this in such difficult times of my life, and yet through those times came this beautiful piece of art from this beautiful design that Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery designed. And it's really just cool to see the beautiful things that can be created during those hard times in our lives. And I think it's just a reminder for me to keep going, that good and beautiful things are coming, even in the midst of struggles and hard times and negative thoughts and all of those things. So this piece sort of means a lot to me. And I'm just so grateful that you've all been here for the journey. That's why I wanted to share the final stitches with you yesterday and getting this completed. So happy to have this goal done. My goal was to complete this for Modern Folk Embroidery March that Kat from Kat Can Lily is sort of hosting and incorporating for this month, and really happy to have a gigantic finish for that month. Happy that I was able to meet the goal. So that is Fruits of Plenty. I love it. I know a lot of you have been asking, what are your plans now? Do you have another Modern Folk Embroidery piece in mind? And that I don't have any other whips currently from Modern Folk Embroidery, and I love so many of his patterns, so I definitely think it's time to look at starting a new one. Little Acorns, the current Sal that is going on, is definitely still on my radar. I still love that piece, and maybe that's going to be started in the near future. We'll have to see. But I definitely want to get another piece going from him because I just love his patterns so much. You've also been asking what I'm going to do with the finished piece, and the answer is it will be framed eventually. I have to wait for sort of the dust to settle of this life transition that I'm in right now, because it's much easier to move a finished folded piece up than it is to move a framed piece. And so I think I'm going to wait to frame it until I'm a little bit more settled and know where I'm going to be and where I'm at. So stay tuned for that. It will be coming. It will be framed eventually. And yeah, I will be enjoying that beautiful piece of art every single day from wherever I am in the future. It's going to be such a great reminder piece of this period of time in my life and of sharing it all with you. So thank you again for coming along on that journey with me. That I think is my 4th finish of 2026, which is amazing. All of those have been here in Florida, and they included the Bee Queen, my pancakes piece, Garden Surprise, which was the little mice with the watering can, and now Fruits of Plenty. And I'm super happy to have those projects completed They're ones I brought down here to Florida to work on and didn't envision getting all of them completed. So I feel like I made a lot of great progress on the whips I brought down here. And now I just have a handful left, which is okay because pretty soon I will be heading back to New York and I will get back to all of my other whips as well. And I think at the end of next week is when I'll be heading back to New York. So my time here in Florida is coming to an end. But that is, good and bad. Good that I'll be getting back to New York and back to my familiar settings and everything. Also getting back to all of my cross stitch projects. So I'm sure once I get back there, it'll feel like so many new starts because I'll get back to these old pieces that I love and haven't worked on in a few months. So probably in the coming weeks, you will see a bunch of new projects that you haven't seen in a while, which will be exciting. I do also plan on doing Mania 500 for May again, and that was where I basically spun a wheel and whatever project was chose, I worked on it for 500 stitches. Once I completed 500 stitches, I spun the wheel again and worked on the next whip. And it was a way for me to kind of touch all of my whips, or most of my whips in the month of May, as many as I could. And just have fun with rotating through and kind of enjoying Mania, but not in the sense of starting a new project every single day. So if you want to join into Mania 500, let me know and we can get that going for May. But I'm definitely going to be doing it again. I really enjoyed it. And I think it'll be a nice way for me to get back to all of those whips that I have sort of sitting there. So stay tuned for that in the month of May. Okay, next let's talk about Whip into Shape. This is my new stitching challenge, Whip into Shape, the walking edition. And this time I'm challenging you to stitch on a project and work on it either for the time that I'm walking, the miles that I'm walking, or the steps that I'm walking. And all of that information is in a previous video titled Whip into Shape Starts Now. I've also got the spreadsheet linked down below here in the description of this video. And you can click on that and see how many miles, how many stitches, you're supposed to do for each walk that I post. Currently we have now 14 walks have been posted. The last two were walks 13 and 14. That was a beautiful trail that's down by the water here close to the beach where my parents live in Florida. And the other one was a walk through Disney Springs, which was really fun. I hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. Those two walks combined for this week were 388 stitches, and that's how much I needed to add into my Whip into Shape piece. The piece that I chose for the challenge this time is Elizabeth Masterton. This is 1838 Elizabeth Masterton, a Scottish sampler from the Scarlet letter. And I'm going to put a picture up here of where I was at the very beginning of the challenge. And that way you can see sort of the overall progress of those 14 walks that we've been doing. And then I'm also going to pop a video in here of where I was when I started the week. Here's the starting point for Elizabeth Masterton. I typically don't do a starting point on this piece, but because I've been forgetting what I actually stitch, I thought, why not just add one? I think I'll be working here on the rest of this potted plant, but you will see where I get to now. And you'll now be able to see I was actually able to add in 590 stitches this week. I went a little above and beyond because I worked on this for a full day on the weekend, and I actually thought that the stitches would be more for those two walks, so I was kind of going more than I thought I needed to. Anyway, 590 stitches is in this piece, and I'm super happy. So the section that I worked on this time, I believe was the bottom of this flower vase right here. So I think I completed all of that, including these flowers at the bottom section. And then I came down here and started this gorgeous flower right here on that motif. So that was 590 stitches, and here's where I'm at so far. Aren't these colors just beautiful? I'm so happy with how this is turning out, especially considering, the colors on the chart. It doesn't really do it justice how vibrant they are and how beautiful they are. So I'm right here in this section, just kind of working on this part right here, and I just finished this vase in the middle. So I'll show it to you again, but this is stitched on a 40 count paper bark by Fox and Rabbit, and I'm using the called for Aversois silks, using one strand of silk over 2 linen threads. And this right here now, this motif, this flower right here, is the center of the piece. So it does sort of mirror itself on the other side, which means I'll be putting in these 3 flower pots again on this side. And I think that means I'll have enough room, which is good. I think I'll have space over here at the edge to complete that, which is exciting. And yeah, the reason I've only done sort of half of these pots down here is because this is where the page break is for the piece. So I'm kind of working page by page and working my way along, which is why I haven't completed sort of these motifs here. But the next time I pull this out, I probably will switch over to, well, I might continue on this section a little bit down here, but I also might hop into the very next page and start bringing this border across a little further, just to kind of keep that going. Because the border stitching goes all the way around, and that is going to be a lot of border stitching. So I want to kind of do it as I go. But that is my whip into shape piece so far, and I'm super happy with the progress I've gotten. I wanted to also say that we will have a new walk for Whip into Shape this week added. This will be the 15th walk, and I'm really excited about this one. We were able to go to Washington Oaks State Park here in Florida, which is not too far from my parents, maybe about 20-25 minutes away. And they have a beautiful gardens in the center of their state park. And the azaleas were in full bloom while we were there. So it's a wonderful spring video. I hope it will kind of get you in the mood for spring if you're not there quite yet, or if you are enjoying spring temperatures and flowers and things, it will help you enjoy that even more. But it's a beautiful walk, and I really hope you enjoy that. So that will be coming this week for the Whip into Shape walk. And that's the last one I have recorded as of right now. So there are a couple other places that I think I could record here in Florida, so you might get maybe 1 or 2 other Florida walks before I head back to New York, and then I'll have a whole new world of things to share with you, and I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to take you on walks in Central Park, along the river, in Times Square. You know, it'll be really fun. So I hope you'll join me on that as well, and you'll be able to stitch along as we explore the city together. So. Okay, now let's jump into the rest of my whips. Whips are works in progress, and these are pieces that I have already started and I'm just continuing to put work into and put stitches into. The first one I want to share with you is Saga. This is from Long Dog Samplers, and this is my biggest piece that I'm working on currently. It's about 100,000 stitches, and here's what this is going to look like in the end. It's a piece that I love so much, and I'm gonna keep working on it little by little each week. The goal was to finish this in 4 years, and so far I am on target to do that. I'll put a video in here of where I was when I started the week. Okay, here's my starting point for Saga for the week. I'm going to be continuing on this arch here, so I will bring it up a little bit and see how far down and around I get in building that outline. You will see it now. And this time I was actually able to add in 601 stitches, and that puts me over the 60% mark. So I'm now 60.4% on Saga, which feels really great. So here is Saga, and I'll get out of the way so it can fit all in the screen here. It's just such a wonderful piece. And I'll zoom in a little bit to show you the part that I worked on. Basically what I did is I brought this center of the arch here, sorry, that's getting in the way, this center part of the arch down on this side, and filled in all of these little doodads and designs up here at the top of the arch. So that might not look like much, but it is 600 stitches. So, you know, as I like to work this piece, I'll probably continue bringing this arch all the way down to the bottom before I get into what's inside of this next arch. But this is stitched on a 36 count vintage country mocha, and I'm using Silks for You PR207, 1 strand of silk over 2 linen threads, and absolutely love it. This is a comfort stitch in a different way. It's so big that I know I have to kind of pace myself on it so I don't get burnt out. But also it is very comforting because it's just one color, and the pattern is really fun to follow and stitch along with. So I can't believe I'm already 3 rows done on this piece, that I'm on the 4th row. Now, the bottom row is the largest, so that's why I'm only 60%, is because the bottom row is the tallest and just the biggest row. So there's still a lot of stitches to go in this. I think I still have about 40,000 left, which is basically fruits of plenty, because that was 47,000. So yeah, there's a lot of stitches left to go on this piece, but I'll keep chipping away at it little by little, but I'm just enjoying working on it and seeing all of these beautiful arches come together, and yeah, that's where I'm at. So next time, hopefully you'll see more of that column over here brought down to the bottom, and we'll continue going from there. So that's Saga. The next piece I worked on was Under the Oaks. This is the kit from Merejka that I'm working on. They were so kind to gift this kit to me, and I just love this scene. I love the trees, the fall look. I love the deer that are coming through the forest. And yeah, it just has a lot of childhood memories for me of seeing deer up in the cabin of my grandparents' cabin, and really just love this piece and wanted to stitch it. So really grateful they sent me this kit and was so happy to have it started. As a matter of fact, just this morning on my run, I'll try to put a picture up here of this, but I saw a deer sort of in the water, in the little creek here at my parents' house, with some trees beside it, and I thought, this looks like Under the Oaks. It's no wonder I want to stitch on this project so much. But that's a little picture of my run this morning. I'll pop a video in here where I was when I started the week. Here's the starting point for Under the Oaks, and because we finished this diagonal right here, we will be starting a fresh one up here. We'll get a little bit into that trunk of the tree and see how far we bring it down. Only called for 200 stitches, so you might not see too much of that diagonal, but we'll see where I get to. And this was called for temperature stitching, so it was supposed to get 2 days of 200 stitches. And last evening, after I finished Fruits of Plenty, I had all my March goals completed. So I was able to stitch on just kind of whatever I wanted. And again, I went back to this piece. So total, I had 586.5 stitches put into this piece this week. That puts me at 5.4%. So still a ways to go in this piece. I think this one is like 67,000 stitches, so it's a very, very big piece. It's deceiving, but here's where I got to. So what I did this time is I think I hadn't started this next diagonal at all. So you'll see right here, this part right here, that is the start of the tree itself. Let me pull up the stitch again. So this tree right here, that is the top of where we're at. So we just reached the tree, which is very exciting. We're finally getting to a little different than just the leaves, which is cool in that dark section. And then I brought that diagonal all the way down, all through this beautiful foliage of the leaves, and brought it all the way down here and did a little bit of the background sky as well. So that was the 586 stitches. And yeah, I'm stitching this in a diagonal method that's very methodical, but I love it. I'm really, really enjoying how this piece is coming together and stitching it in a diagonal like this. I love that you can see so much of the tree already and the design sort of taking shape as you go. And yeah, really looking forward to it. I did see that in the next diagonal, I will hit the tip of the antler of the deer. So that will be very exciting next time in the next row to get to that point. But yeah, just really excited, loving this piece, loving the method of stitching it, and in a way, it's another comfort piece in a weird way because it is obviously a lot of confetti. You can see all the different colors in there, the color changes that are involved. There's some half stitches, some full stitches, but in a weird way, working in this diagonal method, it's comforting to me. It's like one stitch at a time. You just work on it one row at a time, fill in the colors, and then you have this beautiful, beautiful piece to show. The other thing I wanted to say is once I finish this diagonal here and bring it down to this part, that will be the halfway point of the piece vertically. So that's kind of exciting as well to reach that point. But had a lot of fun with this. We'll hope to pull it out again this week. And yeah, that's my progress. Again, I'm using all of the kit materials, so all the kit floss. This is the kit Ada that came with it. I think it's a 16 count. And yeah, just really enjoying it, loving the colors. And that tree is just really coming together. Look at that. I also realized last night that, so there is a lot of backstitch, not a lot, there's some backstitching that happens in here for branches and things like that. And I was waiting until I had the full section completed where I could backstitch. And I realized last night that I now have that. So I could backstitch some of those branches in these trees now, which I might do in the next little section of working on it. So I'm excited to try backstitching because you can actually, in the app that they have, FantaStitch, with their patterns, you can actually mark off the backstitch as you go, and it kind of counts it, and you can actually see what you've stitched and what you haven't, which will be really, really helpful in doing a piece like this with a lot of backstitching. So yeah, I'll keep working on this, and it'll keep coming out for temperature stitching. Okay, and my final whip of the week was this Dimensions kit. This is Woodland Enchantress. Here is what she's going to look like, and this came out for a number of different things. So this was called for temperature stitching to get, I believe, 500 stitches. And then it was also my second whip goal for March to put in another 500 stitches to it. So my goal for this week was to add 1,000 stitches into Woodland Enchantress. And I will put a video in here of where I was when I started the week. Here's the starting point for Woodland Enchantress, and I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to work because I seem to never be following through with that anyway. So yeah, you'll see what I get done, but 1,000 stitches should go into her this time. And let's just see if I can get a close-up of those French knots because I just love them. How cool is that? But yeah, you'll see where I get to now. And this week I was able to add in 1,243 stitches, putting me at approximately 48% on this piece. So that was a lot of work done on Woodland Enchantress, and let's show where I got to. So the main part that I worked on was this section right in through here. All of these greens and teals, beautiful colors there. That's what I was working on. I added, I think, a lot of this, even these colors up over in here, kind of getting this in completed. I think I added this little blue section as well. And I did a little bit of stitching over here, maybe some of the blue on this side and this one color here. But the majority of what I stitched was in through here. So you'll be able to see the major section of stitching there. I also did add a little bit of back stitching. So hopefully you'll be able to see this here. But this leaf right here on her dress is backstitched. This one obviously still has to be backstitched. So you can see the difference there and what that makes. It really kind of adds a little bit of detail and dimension to her dress there. I also outlined in backstitch the rest of her sleeve here, including these little spiky things. I think there's a different color backstitch that goes here. But again, you can see the difference between this sleeve and this sleeve that doesn't have any backstitching. And yeah, so I think I also backstitched a little bit at the top of her dress right here, around these teal blues at the top. So that's what she's looking like. I'm really happy with her progress. I can't believe it's still only at 50%. That's wild. It's another large piece, but I really have enjoyed working on her, and it's really great to see so much progress since I've been here in Florida. She doesn't always come out a lot while I'm in New York for some reason, but yeah, this was her time, and it was really fun to see those 1,000 stitches in her this week. So that is my progress on Woodland Enchantress. Again, with this piece, I'm using all of the called for materials from the kit. So all of the floss, I'm using the fabric, which I believe is an 18 count Aida, and yeah, everything from the kit. So this one, yeah, really happy to see the progress. That is Woodland Enchantress. And those were all my cross stitch whips for the week. So that's what I was able to get accomplished. I felt like it was a very good stitching week again. And yeah, I just had fun stitching this week. It was great meeting my goal on Woodland Enchantress. Amazing finishing Fruits of Plenty and sharing that with you. And just then being able to enjoy at the end of the week last night, enjoy Under the Oaks, a project that I really love working on. So felt like it was a really good stitching week. I also did have a little bit of time to do crochet. Last Friday, when I was going to film a video of finishing Fruits of Plenty, it ended up being such a beautiful day here in Florida that I thought, I'm going to take advantage of this while I'm here, and I'm just going to go to the beach. So I went to the beach and I brought my crochet, and in the morning it was cool enough that I could crochet while I was at the beach. And as the day went on, you know, it got hotter and then it was too much to crochet. But I did a little bit there, and so I wanted to just kind of update you on my blanket for Winston. So this is my first time crocheting ever. So, well, I did a little granny square, but that was it. This is my first like real project, and yeah, here's where it's at. So I think since the last time I showed this, because I didn't have much done last time, I think I added these 4 bands. I don't think I had this second brown in last time, but I definitely added the yellow and then the blue and orange this time as well. So here's what it looks like. You can see that, again, my tension isn't always even. You know, this blue section is probably a little bit looser than this orange section up here, and I think that's just still me learning my tension and what I'm doing. The edges are probably not 100% even. Some I'm gaining a stitch, some I'm losing a stitch, but I'm learning each time I get to an edge and trying to figure out like exactly what I'm doing. And Winston isn't going to care. He's just going to enjoy his little blanket. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking. So really enjoying the pattern that kind of gives this wavy look, and I think these colors are so fun together. They're kind of retro, and yeah, I was happy to find them that kind of went together. Here's the other side of the piece as well, just so you can see that. But yeah, it's really coming along. I don't know how long I will actually make this. Maybe I'm about a quarter of the way through or half of the way through, I'm not sure. I'll just keep adding on to it, and then once I get to a place where I can see if it fits Winston and if it's big enough for him, then I'll stop. But yeah, really enjoying it. So that's my crochet. It's been fun to learn in the sense of allowing myself to just make mistakes and not be perfect and learn as I go. But you can see that I think I am definitely getting better. Like this top band right here, I really like the tension on that band. And I think it's just a matter of me getting more comfortable with sort of holding the yarn and how I hold it, more comfortable with the stitches, and just understanding my tension a little bit better. So I think there is improvement happening from all the way down here at the bottom, but yeah, just really fun. So hopefully Winston will enjoy this for next winter. And that's everything I worked on, including the little extra project. So now let's just jump into plans for the week. So I will definitely be doing temperature stitching again for this week. I'll pop a picture of the new chart right here so you can see. But this week, Under the Oaks was called for 2 days. And then because Woodland Enchantress is in 2 categories now, it was called for 5 days. So Under the Oaks will get 200 stitches and Woodland Enchantress will get another 500 stitches. So we'll keep that one moving right along. Which is exciting. And we are sort of getting to the end of the Whip into Shape category for Woodland Enchantress already. Even though that category only has 3 numbers, it seems like that's the one we sort of shift through the most, which is fun. Hopefully by the time that comes up, that we're finished with that category, I'll be back in New York, and so we'll be able to use all of my whips. You'll be able to choose from the 2 that are called from my whole whip list instead of just what I have here in Florida. But stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. And of course, another plan is I'll be working on Saga. I've got to keep getting my weekly stitches in for that piece. And then we are in April, which is wild. So all of my March goals have been met, and now we'll move forward to April goals. The only thing I know for sure so far in my whip go for April is that number 13, square number 13 was called. That's the center square. And in that square for my board, I had a new start and putting 500 stitches into that new start. So that's the first goal I will try to get to in April. I'm not sure which project that will be that I'll be starting. I've got a couple of things that I really want to start and a few things that I would like to start. So I don't know what will actually win and go in that category, but you'll see a new start in April for that. April being a new month, I also have the stitches that my Patreon members allocated into 2 projects. The 2 projects this month were Saga and Under the Oaks are the 2, I believe. And so I'll have to tally up those stitches here at the beginning of April and see who voted for which project and how many stitches I need to put into each piece. But you'll be seeing a little extra stitches on Saga and Under the Oaks for my Patreon members coming up in April. And then again, once I pull the winner for the dice in April, I'll probably get started on that as well. And once I find out what color they would like them stitched in, I'll get started on that. And other than that, I don't really have any specific plans in April. I think I'm just sort of letting it be open other than temperature stitching and Saga, because I know once I get back to New York, I'm gonna just wanna work on what I wanna work on. And hopefully I can allow myself to do that in this month. But I think those are the goals I have for right now. Otherwise, life has been going pretty well. Running has been going really well. This past weekend, I did my 13.1 mile run to cover the half marathon distance that I've been sort of training for, even though there's not a real race, and just had a lovely morning. It was really nice weather. The sun did come out about halfway through the run, and that made it a little warmer, but in a good way. It wasn't too hot. It was just like a nice, pleasant, warm run. I ran out to the beach like I was hoping would be my routes and ended with donuts on the beach with my dad, which was really just lovely, and had a really great time with it. So now I'll be jumping back into the middle of my training program for the half marathon that I do have scheduled, a real race in Brooklyn in May. So that's what I'll be sort of gearing up towards and training for that. Running has definitely kept me sane these last few months, running and stitching, because you know, it'd be very easy to just not get up in the mornings and to sort of waste the day away as I'm unemployed and looking for jobs and feeling discouraged. But running has been a way that gets me out of bed in the morning, gets me moving and motivated to keep going, and gives me a little bit of exercise. So that's been really helpful to have. All right, I think that's all I've got for you this week. So I want to say again, thank you so much for being here, spending a little bit of time with me. Thank you for the words of encouragement last week. I'm going to do my best to hang on to those words of positivity and hope and support that you all have offered me. And yeah, just continue to find the joy in my day and know that something will work out in the end as it's supposed to. And I can just be patient in this transition time leading up to it. But thank you for your support. I hope that this channel has offered you a little bit of positivity and kindness in your day, and helps you to know that you're not alone in what you're going through, and we can get through this together, and we'll do it stitch by stitch together. So that's all I've got. Now I'm rambling, but keep running if you're a runner. Always keep stitching, and be kind to whoever you meet on your journey. Bye for now. Until the next stitch.